Okay, today we're going to tie a Magog Smelt. It's a northeastern trout pattern, salmon pattern, uh, mostly used for trolling in lakes and ponds for trout and salmon. But I'm going to tie this one using a TMCO 300 streamer hook, size 6 for casting in rivers. So we'll start the thread on the hook. We're starting with white 8/0, and that's for the body, so that if there's any gaps in the body in the tinsel, it won't show through as black. So start the thread about a head length behind the eye, and we're going to coat the thread, coat the hook with thread. Alright, that's good. Now we're going to take our tinsel. This is large mylar tinsel, silver and gold, and we're going to tie it in with the gold side facing up so that when we wrap it, the silver side shows. Just trap it underneath the turn. And wrap that all the way back up the hook. 2 coats of thread on the hook. And we're just going to wrap that right up the hook. Tie that off at the head, at the almost about 1/8 of an inch back from the eye. Trim that close and wrap down the tag. What I'm going to do now is change thread colors, because the head of this fly is going to want to be black. So I'm just going to whip finish this white thread. And put that away. Start the black thread at the head. And we're going to tie a throat out of a red hackle fiber. I like to use the butt, closer to the butt of the feather, after the marabou part, because it's more webby and thicker, and so just pull it off straight like that. Gather it up, and it should all be even at the tip. Turn it around in your fingers and tie it in so that it extends back as far as you can make it. That's probably good there, about 1 inch or so. And just trim up the butt end. And wrap that down. Next, we're going to tie the wing. The wing of this fly is mostly bucktail, so we're going to use white bucktail first. Take it towards the tip so that it doesn't flare. The hair down by the butt, where the tail attaches to the body, is more hollow, so it flares. You just want to pull out the short fibers And you can stack this. Sometimes it doesn't stack well, so I tend not to. I like the natural taper. But you want to tie this in just to the end of the hook. You don't want any short strikes when you get fish on these, so you don't want to tie them past the bend of the hook. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bunch of hits and not catch any fish. So tie on the white bucktail, trim that close, finish the head. Yellow bucktail, same thing, right on top. Take it from the tip. Pull out the under hair, the short hairs at the butt, and tie that in right on top of the white. Trim that close, finish the head. And then you're going to use lavender bucktail. This one's pretty well worn out, but I'll get one more fly out of it. So tie that in right on top of the yellow. Trim it close behind the eye. Wrap that under. I like to tie a finished head after each step. Makes for a neater fly. Now we're going to add peacock curl. I've got some short stuff here that I've worked through the bunch, but I'm gonna pull out probably 6 or 7 fibers. Should be long enough. Make sure the tips are fairly even. Lay that across the purple bucktail and to the end of the wing. Tie that on. Broke my thread. Just restart the thread on the hook and trim the tag ends. This 8/0 thread is pretty delicate. Ends up breaking every once in a while. So you get that far, and what I like to do now is I like to take a bodkin or my whip finisher, something straight, and a needle, and go underneath the peacock curl, and give it a little pressure and kind of curl it down so that it hugs the body like that, sort of like curling a ribbon. Now we're going to take a teal feather, prepare it by cutting off the marabou and stripping off the part that you don't want to use. You want this about, yeah, that looks good, maybe a little bit shorter. I'm going to strip off a little bit more here. That looks good for a shoulder. And you want to pinch this so that there's some fibers on the head so that it doesn't look like it starts at the stem. So just wrap that around, trim it short, And take a second one, prepare it the same way, about the same length. Lost the handle on that one, so make another one. About like that. Place that so that it's the same length as your other one, your other shoulder. And tie that onto the head. Trim the stem. And wrap the head so that there's no gaps in the head, nothing showing through. Nice neat thread head. That looks good. We're going to whip finish that. Then I like to use some Sally Hansen Advanced Hard as Nails. It's a nail polish instead of a lacquer because lacquers tend to cloud over when it gets warm. So I'm just gonna throw some of this on the head. Should dry hard and crystal clear. When that dries, I'll add another coat. And that is a Magog Smelt. Thank you for watching.